Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. You get the fun lighting effects on my face today. We're going to talk a little bit about the van and builds and stuff. As you can see, the center where the TV hasn't been done yet. I've got the boards available to do the bottom. I don't have a door figured out yet. I'm just going to use it as a cubby for the moment. We will figure out the door, make all the stain match and everything. I have wood now because did the bed box. So this replaced the entire back seat, which, folds down and it's adjustable. It's a bench seat that turns into a very small bed, 34 by 60 inches. So it's a little bit over small. Like if you're a 5 foot tall female, you slide those rails back, you could live in this van with no build. But we need a little more going on. So these are 2x4 frames with 1/4 inch to keep the 4.5 support and just tie it all together. 1/4 inch plywood. It's not super expensive. It's not super heavy. It will last forever, like with our use. And then we use 1x4s for slats, and that's it. It's not mounted in. It slides in and out. We have alternating boards. You'll see that one, if you can see it, is slid over to the other side. And that's for the side-to-side stability. It just keeps it from rocking this way by having a couple of the slats slid against that wall and a couple of slats slid against that wall. That's all there is to it. It's a very simple bed. Just a platform. It goes up front. It's about 62 inches wide, which is slightly wider than a queen mattress. So it's good enough, like a queen size topper mattress, trifold, whatever you've got. Now it's only 64 total inches long. And that's taking up a lot of space, but so you don't have the full length. Now, we haven't trimmed anything down because the thing about that 80-inch length is that you can tuck it and fold it and use it when you're making the bed. It's really easy to tuck it up here in the back against the windows when you're driving. Gives you plenty of extra space. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to the front, and I'm going to take some hinges and a couple of 1x9s or 1x10s, which is 9.5 inches. And I'm just going to frame them together like a barn door and make a lifting part that folds upright when we're driving and then comes down and leans against the middle passenger seat and a wooden support so that we have kind of a lounge bed when we're parked. And I think that'll actually help me a lot. Pirate Princess with me here. She's my wife. She's 5'2". She can sleep in any of this. She can literally sleep across the side with the window cutouts, especially. She can stretch her toes. I can't quite stretch my toes. So I'm doing a little bit of diagonal, which is fine. Last night was actually very comfortable. Everything was great. Our first night in the bed was fantastic. So, I don't need to do this hinged front, but it's cheap to put together. It's going to cost me like $30 total with a couple of hinges and the wood that I already have and one more piece of wood. And if I don't like it, I can just unbolt it. So I think we're going to try it. I feel like it's a good idea. What else? It's not heavy. The weight of it is very light. So for a no build, this will come out. You just unscrew a couple of the longer slats, and you can just pull the thing out, tip it up and diagonal, or take all the slats out and just remove the pieces. No permanent modifications to the van from this, and that's good. We might want to pull out and replace the carpet or get it steam cleaned or something in a little while. But right now, It's actually really good. The sides, the interior of the van is in good enough shape in general. You can see up there that I don't need to mess with it. You know, it's pretty enough. It doesn't look super trashy, and I like that. You know, I have to do the outside paint to stop being a cop magnet, but that's life. Let's see, mattresses. This is a Amazon trifold. It's a cover. There's foam in there, but it does fold up like a trifold futon. And then this is a 4-inch dual layer topper, and the combination of those two made the evening sleep fantastic, the overnight sleep fantastic. It worked out very well. I'm really okay with it. I kind of wish the topper was also made as a trifold, because then we could just fold and stack. It's not. We're probably going to trim the edges and the corners just a little bit and rough stitch, like whip stitch together a cover or something. You know, a sheet. Maybe take a large fitted sheet and just fasten it. Just to make it a little easier to maneuver when we're maneuvering. But it's here. It doesn't have to slide anywhere. It just has to tip up when we're driving. That's it. Like, it's really good. Next steps. Today, we've got to work on some organizing and getting rid of another 50, 60, 80 pounds of excess stuff, because moving in has been a process. This door, we've got to do the latch cables on, okay? The inside works fine, but you know it's cracked. You know the housings are cracked. The outside just died, just in the last 2 weeks died, so we're going to pull it apart and do all the cables. That's a huge thing, just being able to open the doors. We got the side door fixed, and that was just amazing. Not having that for a couple days really sucked. What else? I have a friend who's posting, and you know, it took him exactly 4 months and 6 days to get over the van thing. And you know, I think that's something I need to do another video on from the driver's seat, like where you can actually see me. I think there's things that matter, things that really make a huge difference in long-term versus short-term, or frantic versus relaxed nomadism or something. So I'm going to do a video on that. There's a lot to talk about there. You know, like what things are comfortable, what things make this work for you. You know, for some people, it is having the tent. It is only camping in tent spots, you know, trying not to overnight at a rest stop unless you're on a long drive and you really have to. You know, setting up camp. You set up a 12 by 12 tent, you know, just a big tent, and you've got, you know, a cot and a table and a chair inside, and everything works, and it's nice. For some people, that actually really, really helps make it sustainable. For some people, it's just knowing that wherever you are, you can crawl in the back of the van and sleep. Having that comfortable sleep, a place to pee in the middle of the night safely, and food, like an easy way to cook, and you're good, you know. A secure place to park sometimes makes a difference. You know, I know people who have been on the road for years, literal years, without a break, and they're doing fine, and they're in vehicles smaller than this, you know. They're single, so vehicles smaller than this works when you're single. You know, one thing about a couple, I have met recently another couple in a Dodge Caravan, Grand Caravan, which is theoretically smaller than this van. It's mostly smaller in terms of cargo. It's not smaller in terms of bed. Like, the bed build out is still going to be, you know, you got space for a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back of the van, Dodge Grand Caravan. So, you know, less vertical. I like the fact that I can sit and almost stand up in this van. So you can do it, but it's that, what are the things that make it work? You know, for some people it's more space. I'll tell you honestly, having had a road trek and lived in it for a while with Pirate Princess, I would be more comfortable in that. With the third person along, it's a little more difficult. But generally speaking, like, I can live, cook, sleep, pee, everything in the road trek pretty comfortably. It does eat up on your storage space a little bit, having all the built-in stuff. Like, I don't really need a water heater. I don't really need a Pullman shower. I don't actually need the kitchen. I need a burner or a way to get 2,000 watts out of energy, you know, like AC electricity. And that's just for the moments when I'm cooking inside. I'd rather have a drop-down table on the side of the van and a Coleman stove 90% of the time. So we'll talk about that in depth. What are the things that make van life work? What are the things that don't make van life work? What are we actually doing? Are we doing van life, or are we doing camper life? Like, there it is. Car camping tent. I don't know which way like to describe it. I like being fleet and adaptable and having the options to put in a tent, not put up a tent, stay for a week, not stay for a week. But don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to change your parking spot every day. That's probably a good piece of advice. Stay sideways.